Well, g'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of HT Monaro Amateur Build. Sorry it's been a while, I haven't had a holiday for 2.5 years, so I finally took the opportunity to go away up north for the winter with the family and had a good time. So the car's been neglected a little bit, but I'm back into it and keen to get started on it again now that I've got a few days off work. So going to get back into it. I think I said last episode I wanted to start doing some sort of mechanical work, which is what I want to do. Currently I've got the car on these, I can't remember what you call them, bloody wheel trolleys, I think they are. So I've got to push it around the garage, you know, like every time I finish work on it and have to go back to work, I've got to push the car over and then I can put my car inside next to it. So to make it a bit easier, what I want to do is fit the steering. So I've got it all wrapped up there. There's the steering column and the stuff. But before I do that, there's a bit of suspension work that I've got to do. That's not my steering box. So I've got to pull that steering box out and put my steering box in it. And then the sway bar and things like that, they're not done tightly, and they haven't been, the new bushes haven't been put into a lot of the suspension pieces. So up here, probably should have got this ready beforehand, but I've got the new tie rods and you know, ball joints and things like that I need to put on. There's my steering box, so I've got to put the steering box in. Another issue that I've got, that one of the dudes on Facebook, thanks whoever that was, that told me, is when I put the upper ball joints in, you sandwich them, or you bolt them onto the upper control arms, and when I've put them on the upper control arm, I've put them on upside, or not upside down, but it should be bolted, I think it's from the top down, and I've bolted it from inside up. So I've done it back to front basically. So that's my first job, is to pull these wheels off, sort out that upper ball joint on both sides. So that's sitting correctly. I did say it was an amateur build, so learning as I go. And get that fixed, get the steering done. I've got some painting to do in relation to you know, the tie rods and steering arms, some of the steering arms, so I might have to blast them and paint them up before I can fit them and get the steering done. So I've got three days in which I can work pretty much between school hours, so hopefully get a bit done. But in the meantime, if you've been wondering what's happened with the channel, you make sure you like and subscribe, because when you like and subscribe, you get notifications when new episodes come out. So it helps the channel along, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe. The other thing you can do, which I'd be really grateful of, being an amateur build, there's a lot more people out there that know a whole lot more than me. Make a comment, put comments in, you know, offer up suggestions, all that sort of stuff. I'm absolutely be happy to chat away to you guys and get a bit of an idea of you know, where I'm going wrong or what I'm doing right, or which direction I should go next. Or I'm sure there's plenty of guys on here that have built cars. This is the first or second car. The first one was my first car, but didn't go obviously this far. But this is the first time I've done a full build. So look, I need all the help I can get. I'm not too shy to admit it. That's why I paid someone to paint it, and that's why I paid someone to build me the 600 horsepower Chev in there, the 421. So look, I'd really appreciate it. I like it, I enjoy it, and let's get the ball rolling, and we'll get this episode out. I'm not sure how far I'll get, but I've got 3 days, and we'll try and achieve as much as I can in that time. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, and hit the like and subscribe. Thanks guys. Like I said, make a few comments and ask a few questions. Now I'm going to start doing the same with you guys, because bloody wealth of information there and knowledge, so help me out here. So this is what I was talking about. Oops. What I've done here, I've got to take this bloody ball joint out again because hopefully you can see it. I'll just get my phone, so you've got a torch, bear with me. One thing that annoys me about YouTube is I've got the music playing in the background. Every time I go and film something, I've got to turn the music off so that it doesn't breach copyrights and stuff. So anyway, see these bolts here, just 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to undo them and then take the ball joint out underneath here and then sit it on top because I've done that wrong. Here goes the torch. So that's the first job, sort that out, and that way. And then see these steering arms and everything. Again, they're not painted, they're the old ball joints. That part's painted, so I've got to pull them off, blast them or sand them, whatever I'm going to do, and then put them back on. Once I've done that, then I can take the steering box and nip everything up, get it right, and I want to put the steering wheel in if I can. That'd be cool. I feel like I'm doing something then once the steering's all working. So that's what we're going to do. Thanks, dudes. So pretty easy. Just drop that, whatever that bloody thing is, that steering arm. That'll just come off. I might have to give that another little spray of some touch up, and along here too. That looks a bit shit, doesn't it? I'll fix that up. So it's just undo those 4 bolts, as I said, drop that down and then put it through the top. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll do the other side. I might pull these off as well while I'm at it because they obviously need painting down here. So I'll pull them off, pull that off, paint that, put the new ball joints in, put it all back together, kick a couple of goals. That's not going to take too long. Happy days. Yeah, so I got the book out here and it does clearly show that top ball joint coming in from the top. So thanks for that tip, whoever bloody told me that. That would have been another mistake I've made. That was in there like that. And now that's like that. These are the sort of comments I need and the help I need. If you see me doing something wrong, for Christ's sake, make a comment, speak up. And that way I can make sure it's all done right. Righto guys, so finished the rectifying the ball joints on both sides. Thanks to that guy, whoever it was that made mention of it on Facebook when he saw it. I'm going to put the post up, so I appreciate that. Moved on now to the steering arms. So I've got a sandblaster, so I'm just giving them a bit of a touch up with the sandblaster so that I can paint them. Once they're painted, they can go back on with the new ball joints and whatever. Part of the problem I got with this sandblaster is I've got this compressor from wherever it was, Total Tools I think it was. It's not a bad compressor, but I haven't really got it set up properly. I don't know a lot about them. 3-cylinder thing. I think it's got plenty of air pressure to run the sandblaster, or just enough, put it that way. But it seems to, you know, you've got to drain it regularly, get water out of it and all that sort of stuff. Otherwise the water tends to come through the hose and then into the block and the bloody sandblast nozzle. So that's just something I have to put up with. I just do it bit by bit, slowly by slowly. Otherwise it generates too much heat, and when it generates too much heat, it generates too much water as well. So that's what I'm up to at the moment, and I'll keep boxing on with this sandblasting tool. They're pretty nifty actually. It's very handy to have. Alright, I'll come back to you when I've painted them, I suppose. Cheers. Righto, so I've sandblasted the left side. Steering arms, I'll give these a wipe down with thinners. And then for these I'm just going to use bloody pressure pack. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. I do have a spray gun, but there's no need to do that. I'm only doing one side at a time because, like I said, that that gun does get a bit, so the compressor gets a bit hot, which creates moisture in the sandblasting medium. So I'll paint these up and hang them, and I'll show you when I've done that. Righto, got a primer coat on. Come back, wait for that to dry, and I'll whack a couple of coats of satin black on it, and in the meantime I'll go and sandblast the right hand side. Final top coat done. Some of those little bits and pieces. This is the other side now. This would be the driver's side. And I'll paint them up. What I'm going to do now is pull the steering box out, I think, and put my painted one in. Tidy up the bolts, sorry, that hold that in as well. So this is my steering box, painted. It didn't have a lot of slack in it, so I'm not going to put a kit through it, but just in the process of taking the old one out. Let's put this down for a second. I'll set the camera up because I've just undone the 3 bolts to get this out. Right, well, that's the steering wheel box in. Kicking a few goals now. I've got the nuts here, I'm just going to paint them up, and I'm missing the lock nut, the lock washers in the book. Tell you what, if you're doing up a car, one of these cars, and you don't have one of these, get them. You've got everything you should need. It comes in 2 volumes. You need to get it realistically. You can't do it properly without. So it shows a washer and a lock washer as well as the nut, and you can tell there was a lock washer on them, and my lock washers are missing. So pick the kids up from school, I'll grab them and be able to bolt it. I'd do them up. So I'm pretty well today. A bit more done than I thought I would. Happy days. Remember the boot garnish, the stainless trim that the last thing that I polished and repaired and filed and all that? Well, thought, well, I've got the tin of paint out now, I might as well bloody give that a coat of paint. So I've taped it up. That's the undercoat, obviously just the centre stripe needs to be black. So just give that some undercoat, and I'll give that a lick of paint, and then I can put that on the boot, and that another job done. So getting there. I'll get around. I'm going to try and put the steering wheel in today. So just sort of tidy this up, and it's probably not going to come in today because I've got to repaint this, put some sealant on there. We'll get that old sealant off, probably blast that a bit and paint it up. So probably not going to get it in today, but at least we'll get it painted Don't know really what I can do today because the other parts are still drying. It's been real wet over here, and cold, so stuff isn't dried properly yet. So look, I'll just prepare this and get it ready. This steering thing, and I'll find the nuts and bolts and whatever in my containers of nuts and bolts and get it all ready, and then I can bolt it in. I've had a look in the manual how it all goes back together. It doesn't look too difficult. So yeah, get that done. While I'm at it, let's put this down. I've got to replace these because we've misplaced my nuts and bolts that hold the steering arm on, and these aren't high tensile. They were never supposed to be there, so I've got to replace them with some high tensile ones. Been told UNC, I think they said. I've got it written down anyway. So dog wants to come in. So I probably won't bolt it back together until I get a hold of those proper tensile bolts and get it done properly. So just a couple of things I can box on with in the meantime. Cheers. So back in the paint booth, just giving this a steering column a quick primer and paint before I reinstall it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it doesn't hurt to tidy it up a bit. 50 years old, so might as well paint it all before you put it all back together. I gave it a quick blast. Actually, there's a bit of surface rust. There's a bit of surface rust around here, and just light, you know, around here. So I decided to just give it a quick blast and just a rough spray just to tidy out. There's a plastic cover that goes over that anyway. It doesn't hurt to do it properly. So what I'm going to do now is go and find the nuts and bolts for everything, for the steering column. I'll turn that music down, otherwise I'll get a bloody, what do you call it, an infringement, copyright infringement. So yeah, I've just got to find the nuts and bolts that go around there, secure these in. It's part of the that's the clutch slave for the hydraulic clutch. I've got some sealant here that my mate gave me. Tomo painted the car, so I'll use this sealant to secure that what do you call it, the steering column up against the firewall there. And so now we're going to go through these boxes, no moss, and find all the bolts. So they've all been replated. So I'll get into that now. So once it's all dry and painted, I can get back into it and put it together. Happy days. G'day everyone. I've just finished painting that stainless steel trim for the boot garnish. That's the one I had the panel beat. Really happy with the way that's turned out. See that really good. So now I'm going to work out if I can put that on there. So bear with me and we'll give it a crack. I'll have to find the clips that screw into that.
No, I'm gonna...
Righto, so I've just found the clips. They just slide in there on either end. And that goes in there like so. Alright, I just want to do this with 2 hands, so I don't scratch anything, so bear with me. Alright, I think this is going to be a bit quicker than just clipping it straight on. Sorry, take a bit longer. You can see that bolt there is not straight up and down, so those holes need to be elongated a little bit, maybe. That's the same. So what I'm going to do is put that on the back burner for now. Yeah, I was just excited to see it once I polished it and pulled the paint off it. So I don't want to go rushing it and balls it up. So I'll take that off for now and put that on the list for another day. Cheers. Righto guys, back at it again, day 3. We've got a few things done today. So this is the steering column that I blasted and painted. It's kind of like Mickey Mouse. Just got to take this stuff off. Before I do that though, I'm going to finish this job. So putting the ball joints and steering arm on and all that. I put a post on Facebook because I lost these original nuts and bolts, so I put a post on Facebook about what to replace them with. I was always taught there's no stupid question, so I thought I'll ask the question just in relation to whether it be high tensile or not. I thought it would be, but I also am aware that high tensile, get a bit of sun in your eyes, high tensile is a bit brittle, so I just didn't know how that went with putting more brittle parts on steering arms. So anyway, that's the reason I asked the question. A few people commented, which I appreciated. Quite a bit of help come through. These ones I bought are grade 8 high tensile UNC, I think they're 7/8 inch bolts to replace these originals. But I think the overall general consensus was use the factory ones if you can. One of the posts I got on Facebook, which made a bit of sense to me, whoever that was, if you're listening, thank you for speaking to me about it, was that these are actually off his say-so, grade 5, and what he said was there's a difference in their the brittleness, if that's a word, how brittle the part is, and he suggested just go with the original ones. So what I'm going to do is just clean these up with the wire brush, and I'll use the original ones now that I've found them. I'm not going to go with the new ones. As was pointed out to me, you know, Holden spent a lot of time researching and developing their products, and they would have chosen these particular bolts for a particular reason. So I am going to use the original ones. So thank you for the advice, appreciate it. Like I say, it's an amateur build, I don't know everything, but you know, the way I look at it is I know enough to ask the question. So if you want to knock someone for asking a question, that's up to you, whatever, but all good. So anyway, get back to what I was on about. Steering arm, it's all been blasted and painted. So put these new tie rod ends in. I called them ball joints before, didn't I? Sorry. That holds the brake hose keeper. It's the arm itself all been painted up and that, so all going to look pretty good. Once I get it on the deck, once I finish putting all that in, these got these. I've got to obviously do that up, but got bolts for them. So the sway bar, I think that's called. So anyway, once it's on the deck, I'll feel safer than it is now on the jacks to get in there and put the steering column in. And that was the goal over this 3 days, was to have the steering wheel mounted. I think after that, what I'm going to do is get under the dash, finish everything that needs to be under the dash, we're talking about the windscreen wiper kit that I've got for reversing that so it's not in the engine bay, and we're talking about the plumbing for the demister and all that sort of stuff. I've also got to mount a reservoir for the hydraulic clutch conversion that I've done for the TKO 600 transmission it's going to run. The reservoir needs to be under there. All needs to be plumbed in. There's some the wiring harnesses in there, but you don't know where to run that until you've got the majority of the factory stuff in there. So that'll be probably the next job. Once I've done that, I've got some new engine mount bolts. I've got to put because these ones are just sitting there. Obviously that's not going to do the job, so I've got to put the new engine mount bolts. I might replace these ones, I think, as well. They're not high tensile, so I will replace these 3 on either side. Then I can maybe put the headers in and start putting the fuel system on, because this is just for when I had it on the engine stand. So look, plenty of jobs there, but it does feel like I'm making a bit of progress. So I think in October I'll get a little bit of a work bonus coming my way. So I'm going to order the diff. It's going to be a 9-inch shortened 31 spline billet axles. I'll be running the drum brakes on the back of that. So I'll put the drum brakes on, and I might even get new leaf springs, even though the ones that are on it are new, but probably take a leaf out, have it a little bit lower. I'll see how the front sits as well. And then, once you've got the diff in, I'll get the tail shaft made. You're really kicking some goals there, so pretty keen to get that done. And then it's just putting the interior in. I'm going to get a guy to do the hood lining. I've heard it's a bit of a bitch of a job. I've never done it before. Don't want to stuff it up, so I'll get someone to do that. I'll get someone to put the front and rear glass in after the hood lining's in, and then realistically, it's time consuming, but there's not a lot to do, so not a great deal anyway. So I'll get into it. I'll get it on the deck, get these steering components in, and we'll go from there. Right, everyone, wheels are on. Anyway, that's done. The nuts to hold the steering box are on. So next job is the steering column. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll go and have a look in the book and take this off the trolley jack and the stands, axle stands, sorry, and we'll box on. Righto guys, so I've got to the stage where I'm going to put the steering box in. So I found all the little nuts and bolts. There's 5 of these little ones. A couple of these. Little spacer. Obviously got the workshop manual to make sure I don't stuff it up. And we'll whack it in and see how we go. I'm going to be using this sealant. It's a Worth product, glass sealant. Being told that'll do a good job, so I'll seal it up with that. On the back of this steering column, and we'll get to it. So I might as well do that now. Alright. That's the sealant on. Ellie, you want to hold something for me? Help me out here, babe. You'll have to climb in the Monaro for me. No, I need you to push on something while I do it up on this side. Help me out here. Just jump in here. Can you push on this? Right up against it.
I can't.
Come on. I need some help. Push on it. Just climb in here. That's it. And then just climb up under there and push on that. On your hands and knees. That's it.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
Push on what?
On this. Hold that. That's it. Just don't move now. Just hold right there for me. Don't move. Perfect job. Pushing it.
Yeah. I'm putting something.
Right, you can get out there if you want. Thanks. Good job, Pumpkin. Rightio, everybody. I'm looking for a bit of help here. I'm missing a pretty important part. I cannot for the life of me find that bolt. Now that's the wedge steering column. Oh, that's I've got the wedge. I've got a bolt for that. It's this bloody bolt here. It's got a square head under there. It fits into this bloody the underneath of that, the square head, and then tightens up with this nut. Now I can't bloody find it. So if anyone's got one of them, if anyone's got a bolt from a car you've wrecked or anything like that, if you leave a message, and I'll buy it off you if you don't mind. I can't really put it together until I've got that. I mean, I can put the shaft in, which I've got sitting in there. I just need to line that shaft up with the steering box. But yeah, obviously I can't tighten it all up until I've got that particular bolt. So if anyone's got one, would you mind leaving me a message and I'll buy it off you, and you can just pop it in the post for me. That'll be bloody great, because without it I'm stuffed. So I've done about as much as I can do without that bloody bolt. So I'll get this episode out, and then hopefully we'll get some feedback on that. Hopefully someone's got one. Thank you. Kicking a few little goals. Got the steering shaft in and the column. So I'll work out how that goes. That obviously goes like that. So as soon as I screw them in, I'll just find the screws for that. We'll have steering. Even though that's not done up properly yet. It's all done up. It's all done up there. A little bit of primer paint there. I'll have to mask all that up and paint that black. But yeah, pretty stoked with that. Pretty much what I wanted to achieve. This time I unwrapped the car, so out of the cover. So happy days. I'm going to call that the end of the episode. Maybe I'll put the steering wheel on, and then it'll be the end. I'll go and do that now, and then we can properly call it a job done. All right. Righto guys, now I think it's fair to say that job's completed. That's all I wanted to get done. So all the steering arms are put in, tie rod ends, sway bar. Just on that, maybe a stupid question. Have I done that right? Any comments there? This used to be a Holden 308 now. Is that sway bar in right way? I'm pretty sure I turned it the other way and it didn't go, so just want to make sure I haven't put that in upside down or incorrect or something. But, for those of you who know, leave a comment if I've done it wrong. Righto, well that'll wrap up this episode, so thanks for watching. I'm going to do more episodes in another couple of weeks, so give us a like, hit the subscribe button for the next update, so you get it when I do the next episode. And like I say, thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you've got something to say, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.